If you want success, you have to be willing to put in the work even when others aren't. The truth is, the road to achieving your dreams isn't easy. It requires a level of effort and dedication that many aren't ready for. But if you're willing to go harder than everyone else, you'll set yourself apart in a way that guarantees success. This isn't about being lucky or waiting for opportunities to fall into your lap. It's about showing up every day, doing the work when no one's watching, and pushing yourself past the limits others are willing to accept. The question is, are you ready to put in the effort? Are you willing to work harder than anyone else in the room? Because success doesn't just come to those who want it. It comes to those who work tirelessly to make it happen. Let's talk about how you can do just that. Chapter 1. Wake up earlier and take control of your day. Success is not an accident. It's a result of intentional actions repeated daily. And one of the most powerful actions you can take to gain an edge over the world is simple. Wake up earlier and take control of your day. You see, every single day, life offers you a window of opportunity. The early hours of the morning are quiet, still, and undisturbed. It's the perfect time to focus, plan, and set the tone for the entire day. But most people miss this window. They sleep in, they hit the snooze button, they let the morning slip away, and with it, they lose the chance to command their day. But if you're serious about working harder than everyone else, you cannot afford to waste these precious hours. When you wake up early, you're not just gaining time, you're gaining clarity. You're gaining control. You're giving yourself the advantage that others won't have because they chose comfort over growth. And that choice, whether to sleep or to rise, is the first battle you face every morning. If you can win that battle, you're already ahead. Think about it. How many successful people do you know who sleep until noon? How many champions in any field start their day with excuses? None. The ones who lead, the ones who inspire, the ones who dominate their craft, they start early. They understand that while the world sleeps, they have the chance to build, to think, to create, to learn, and they seize it. Waking up early isn't just about being awake before the sun. It's about using that time wisely. It's about setting the direction of your day before the noise of the world takes over. Because once the day begins, distractions come, problems come, people come with their needs and expectations, and if you're not ready, you'll spend your day reacting to everything instead of controlling anything. But if you wake up early, you can prepare. You can decide who you want to be that day. You can read. You can plan. You can exercise. You can think deeply about your goals, your priorities, and the steps you'll take to move forward. You can build strength in silence. That's where discipline is born, in the quiet moments when no one is watching, but you still choose to show up for yourself. There's a certain power that comes from choosing discipline over comfort. When you force yourself out of bed, even when it's cold, even when you're tired, even when you'd rather sleep, you're teaching yourself that you are in control. You're proving that your goals mean more to you than your temporary comfort. That's how confidence is built. That's how character is formed. And that's how greatness begins, by doing the hard thing, especially when it's the first thing of your day. And it's not just about getting up for the sake of it. It's about what you do once you're up. It's about using that time intentionally. Most people wake up, and the first thing they do is grab their phone. They scroll through social media, they check emails, they look at other people's lives, and without realizing it, they've already handed control of their day to someone else. They've allowed the world to dictate how they feel, how they think, and how they act. But you You can do it differently. You can claim your morning as your time. You can fill it with activities that fuel your mind, body, and soul. You can move your body. You can read powerful words that shape your thinking. You can sit in silence and reflect on who you are becoming. You can write down your goals and decide what actions will take you closer to them today. You can decide what kind of person you want to be when the sun rises and the world wakes up. That's how leaders are born. Not when the cameras are rolling, not when the applause is loud, but in the early hours when it's just you and your thoughts. That's when the foundation is built. And that foundation is what will carry you through the battles of the day. Now some will say, but I'm not a morning person. But let me ask you, what is more important, your comfort or your growth? Is it more important to be a morning person or to be the kind of person who keeps their promises to themselves? Because every time you hit the snooze button, you're breaking a promise to yourself. You're saying, my comfort matters more than my progress. And that's a dangerous message to send to your mind. But every time you choose to rise early, even when it's hard, you're telling yourself, I am disciplined, I am committed, I will do what it takes. And that kind of belief will serve you in every area of your life. It will show up in your work, in your relationships, in your goals, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And the truth is, waking up early is not easy. It's not supposed to be. Growth never is. It requires sacrifice. It requires discomfort, but it also delivers rewards that most people will never know. Imagine starting your day with clarity and purpose. Imagine having the time to set your intentions, to focus on what matters, to move your body and sharpen your mind before the world has even opened its eyes. That's a gift you give to yourself. And it's a gift that keeps giving back in the form of progress, confidence, and self-mastery. And don't think it has to be a giant leap. You don't have to start waking up 3 hours earlier tomorrow. Start small. Set your alarm 15 minutes earlier. Use that time to do one thing that makes you better. Maybe it's writing down your goals. Maybe it's reading a few pages of a book that challenges you. Maybe it's stretching, meditating, or planning your day. Small actions, done consistently, create big results. The goal is progress, not perfection. And as you master the habit of waking up early, add more to your morning routine. Build it step by step. Layer habits that strengthen your discipline, that sharpen your focus, that move you toward the life you desire. And when it feels difficult, remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself that every great accomplishment in history started with small, consistent actions. Remind yourself that comfort is temporary, but progress lasts a lifetime. And yes, it will be hard. There will be mornings when you'll want to stay in bed, when the warmth of the covers will feel more inviting than the cold challenge of discipline. But that's exactly why you must rise. Because every time you do, you're separating yourself from the crowd. You're proving that you have what it takes. You're becoming the kind of person who works harder, who pushes further, who builds a life by design, not by chance. So tomorrow morning, when that alarm goes off, remember this moment. Remember why you chose this path. Remember that the first victory of your day is simply getting out of bed and taking control. Because how you start your day is how you shape your future. And if you can master your mornings, you can master anything. Chapter 2. Stay longer when everyone else is leaving. Most people quit when things get hard. They walk away when it gets uncomfortable. They pack up and leave the moment the challenge feels bigger than their willpower. But if you truly want to rise above, If you really want to be the one who wins when others lose, then you have to stay longer when everyone else is leaving. You have to choose the path of discipline, the road that demands more, and the journey that asks you to keep going even when everything in you is screaming to stop. That's how you stand out. That's how you separate yourself from the crowd. Not by doing what's easy, but by doing what's necessary. Because here's the hard truth. Effort is the currency of progress, and most people stop paying the moment it costs a little discomfort. They stay as long as it feels convenient. They work as long as it feels easy. But the moment it gets hard, they convince themselves they've done enough. They tell themselves they've earned the right to relax, to quit early, to leave when they've barely scratched the surface of their potential. And that's why they stay stuck. That's why they never reach the next level. Because greatness doesn't come to those who quit when it's hard. It comes to those who stay when it's hard, who stay when they're tired, who stay when they feel like they've given everything and still find a way to give more. If you want to work harder than everyone else, it's simple. You stay when they leave. You stay longer. You give more. Because it's in those extra moments, those quiet hours after most have quit, where real growth happens. That's where champions are made. It's not in the easy reps or the convenient hours. It's not when you feel fresh or motivated. No, it's when you're tired, when you're drained, when every part of you is asking for comfort, and you say, no, not yet. I'm not done. That's the moment that transforms you. That's the moment where you forge something stronger than talent, discipline. It's easy to convince yourself that you've done enough. It's easy to stop when others stop and feel like you're still ahead. But you don't win by measuring yourself against the weak efforts of others. You win by measuring yourself against your own highest standard. You win by pushing past the line where most people quit and creating a new line. One that's further, one that's harder, one that demands more. That's how you build the mindset of a winner. You don't compare yourself to those who settle. You compare yourself to who you were yesterday and ask, can I go further today? Can I stay longer today? Can I push more today? And if the answer is yes, you do it. Even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Because this is what most people don't understand. Staying longer isn't just about getting more done. It's about building the kind of character that refuses to quit. It's about proving to yourself that you're capable of more than your mind believes. That when you think you're done, you're really just at the starting line of your true strength. And the only way to find that strength is to stay in the gym when everyone else has gone home. To stay working on your craft when others have called it a day. To stay studying, practicing, pushing, when comfort calls your name. That's how you build the resilience that sets you apart. You think champions win because they're the most talented. No, they win because they stay longer. They stay on the field. They stay on the field. They stay in the office. They stay in the gym. They stay when it's lonely, when it's quiet, when it's painful. And every time they stay, they gain an inch of growth, an inch of discipline, an inch of strength, and inch by inch, they build something unbreakable, something that can't be taken by excuses or setbacks, something that can only be earned by staying longer than everyone else. And here's where it gets real. The hardest part isn't staying when you're still feeling motivated. The hardest part is staying when you're exhausted, when you've already given so much, and it feels like there's nothing left. That's the moment that matters. That's the moment that will define you. Because anyone can stay when it's easy. Anyone can stay when it's fun. But few will stay when it's brutal, when it's lonely, when it feels like it's breaking you down. And yet, that's where the greatest rewards are born. In the place where others have given up. In the moments where it's just you, your willpower, and your reason why. And yes, it will hurt. It will stretch you. It will make you question everything. You'll wonder why you're still there when everyone else has left. You'll ask yourself if it's worth it. If you're wasting your time. If you should just quit and do what's easy. But that's exactly the moment you need to dig deeper. That's when you need to remind yourself why you started. Why you chose this path. Why you made the promise to work harder than everyone else. Because that promise wasn't made for the easy moments. It was made for the hard ones. The ones that test you. The ones that try to break you. The ones that will either define you as ordinary or as relentless. And when you stay, when you endure, something powerful happens. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to realize that you can take more than you thought. You can last longer than you believed. You can push further than you ever imagined. And that kind of belief, it changes everything. It doesn't just make you stronger in that one moment. It makes you stronger in every moment after. Because if you can stay when it's hard once, you can do it again, and again, and again and again, until staying when it's hard becomes who you are. That's how you separate yourself from the crowd. Not with talent, not with luck, but with persistence, with endurance, by staying longer, working harder, giving more. And every time you stay when others leave, you're making a statement to the world. You're saying, I'm here for the long haul. I'm here to outlast. I'm here to win. And that's not something most people are willing to say. But it's exactly why they'll never reach where you're going. So ask yourself, how bad do you want it? Bad enough to stay when it's hard. Bad enough to stay when it hurts. Bad enough to stay when the voices in your head tell you to quit. Because that's what it takes. It takes staying longer, working harder, refusing to quit. Not just once, but every single time. Until staying longer becomes your default. Until you are the last one standing. Until you look around and realize that you didn't just stay longer. You became stronger. You became unstoppable. You became the person who doesn't back down when things get tough. And that's exactly the kind of person who wins. Chapter 3. Work on your skills when no one is watching. The real difference between those who rise to greatness and those who stay ordinary isn't found in public achievements or big moments. It's found in the hours when no one is watching, when the world is quiet, when nobody's cheering, when no one is posting about it, and no applause is waiting at the end. It's in those moments, behind closed doors, when you choose to work on your skills, to sharpen your craft, to push beyond your limits, that true greatness is built. Because the truth is, the most powerful transformations happen in private. Not on the stage, not under the spotlight, but in the quiet discipline of consistent effort that no one ever sees. Most people crave recognition. They want the world to see their effort, to witness their hustle, to validate their progress. But those who truly win understand that the most important work is done in silence. It's the late nights when you're studying after everyone else has gone to bed. It's the early mornings when you're practicing, alone, while the world is still sleeping. It's the repetition of simple, hard tasks that no one will ever praise you for but will one day define who you are. Because it's easy to show up when there's a crowd. It's easy to work hard when others are watching. But real strength is built when you're working in the dark, when no one sees you, when it's just you and the grind. If you want to rise above, if you want to stand out, you have to be willing to do the work that others aren't willing to do. Not just when it's convenient, not just when it's comfortable, but especially when it's lonely. When you know no one will notice if you skip it. No one will clap if you cut it short. No one will even know if you walk away. But you'll know, you'll feel it, you'll carry it. And that's why you have to stay. That's why you have to keep going. Because if you don't, the only person you'll be cheating is yourself. And that's the thing most people miss. The hours you put in when no one's watching are the hours that shape who you become. It's those silent sacrifices that build confidence. Every repetition, every hour spent practicing, every piece of effort you invest, when it feels like no one is looking, is stacking up inside of you. It's building resilience, discipline, and a strength that can't be faked or fast-tracked. Because when the moment finally comes for you to show what you've got, it won't be the public performances that define you. It will be the private preparation that makes you ready. It will be all those moments when you chose to grind in the dark that will give you the edge when it matters most. And let me tell you, that edge is everything. It's the difference between winning and losing, between stepping up and falling short, between standing tall and being forgotten. It's the edge that says, I stayed when others left. I practiced when others slept. I worked when others wasted time. And that edge isn't something you can buy. It's not something you can borrow. It's only something you can earn, moment by moment, hour by hour, sacrifice by sacrifice. And every time you choose to put in that work when no one is watching, you're earning it. You're earning greatness in silence. But here's the part that most people struggle with. It's not exciting. It's not glamorous. Working on your skills in silence can feel lonely. It can feel endless. There's no instant reward, no immediate result. And that's why so many give up. That's why so many convince themselves they've done enough. They tell themselves it's okay to quit early, that it won't matter if they skip just one day, that no one will know. But that's the difference. Winners don't do it for recognition. They don't do it for approval. They do it because they know that every small step forward is part of something bigger. They know that every hour spent refining their skills is an investment in their future. A future where they are ready, sharp and unstoppable when their moment comes. And when it does come, it's obvious. You can tell who's been preparing and who's been pretending. You can see it in the way they move, the way they speak, the way they perform, because confidence isn't born from hoping you're ready. It's born from knowing you are, knowing that you've done the work, that you've earned every bit of your strength, that you've sacrificed when it wasn't easy. That's real confidence, and it can only be built in those moments of quiet discipline. So if you're serious about being better, if you're serious about standing out, then you need to fall in love with those silent hours. You need to embrace them. You need to respect the grind when it's just you and the work, because that's where the magic happens. That's where champions are made, not in the moments of recognition, but in the hours of discipline. Not when the lights are on, but when it's just you and your will to keep going. And yes, it's going to be hard. You're going to have nights where you want to give up, mornings when you want to sleep in, moments when the thought of pushing harder feels impossible. But that's the moment where you grow. That's where you prove to yourself what you're made of. Because anyone can work when it's easy. Anyone can hustle when they're feeling good. But it takes a different kind of person to work when it's hard, to push when it's painful, to stay when it's lonely. And that's who you have to be. You have to be the one who keeps showing up, the one who keeps pushing, the one who doesn't need applause to feel driven, the one who knows that the reward isn't in the moment but in what it builds over time. Because one day, it will show. One day, all those hours will pay off. One day you'll stand on a stage, win that competition, close that deal, and everyone will wonder how you did it. They'll think it was luck. They'll think it was talent, but you'll know it was neither. It was work, work when no one was watching, work when no one cared, work when it was just you and your determination to be better than yesterday. And that's a powerful thing, because when you know you've put in that kind of effort, you walk differently, you speak differently, you move differently, you carry an unshakable confidence that can't be bought, can't be faked, and can't be taken. It's yours, and it's real, and it's built from every hard moment you survived, and every hour you invested when no one else cared. So the choice is simple. Do you want to be like everyone else, showing up when it's easy and quitting when it's hard? Or do you want to be the one who stays, who fights, who grows in silence, and emerges stronger than anyone could ever expect? The path is clear, the work is waiting, and it's up to you to decide who you will be when no one is watching. Because that's where greatness is built, and that's where your future begins. Chapter 4. Say no to excuses and yes to discipline. Greatness isn't born in comfort. It's forged in the fire of discomfort, in the moments when you push yourself beyond the limits of what feels easy, what feels safe, and what feels familiar. Growth demands discomfort. Progress demands that you step into the unknown, that you stretch yourself, that you choose the harder path when the easier one is calling your name. Because it's easy to stay where it's warm and comfortable. It's easy to settle into routines that don't challenge you. But if you want to become someone you've never been, you have to be willing to do things you've never done. You have to be willing to face discomfort and embrace it as the price you pay for becoming unstoppable. Discomfort is not your enemy. It's your teacher. It's the sharp edge that shapes you, molds you, and strengthens you. It's the voice that says, this is where the change happens. But most people run from it. The moment life gets hard, they back off. The moment things get uncomfortable, they quit. The moment it feels too heavy, they drop the weight. But the truth is, the only way to grow is to lean into that discomfort, to face it head on, and to keep moving forward despite it. Because every time you push through that pain, you're building resilience. Every time you choose not to quit, you're getting stronger. Every time you decide to stay in the fight when everything in you wants to escape, you're shaping the kind of character that will carry you through any storm. Think about it. How many people miss out on greatness because they're too scared to be uncomfortable? They stay in jobs they hate because it's safe. They avoid chasing dreams because it's risky. They settle for average because reaching for more means failing, means struggling, means facing rejection. But what they don't realize is that staying comfortable is the most dangerous choice of all, because comfort kills growth. Comfort keeps you stagnant. Comfort is where dreams go to die. And if you're not growing, you're shrinking. If you're not challenging yourself, you're decaying. Because life is always moving. And if you're not moving forward, you're falling behind. So if you want to be better, if you want to break out of average and step into greatness, you've got to get uncomfortable. You've got to challenge yourself every single day. You've got to wake up and ask, how can I make myself uncomfortable today? How can I push myself harder? How can I step into the unknown and face what scares me? Because that's where the magic is. That's where real growth happens. It's in the workouts that push you past your limits. It's in the conversations that challenge your thinking. It's in the risks that stretch your courage. That's where you find out who you really are. That's where you become unstoppable. And it's not going to be easy. Growth isn't meant to be easy. It's going to hurt. You're going to feel fear. You're going to feel doubt. You're going to want to give up. But that's exactly the moment when you have to keep going. That's the moment when you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses, stronger than your fears, stronger than the part of you that wants to quit. Because every time you choose to keep going, you're building a mind that refuses to back down. You're creating an identity that says, I don't stop when it's hard. I stop when I'm done. And that mindset is unstoppable. You can't be afraid of discomfort. You have to welcome it. You have to recognize it for what it is. A sign that you're growing, that you're moving, that you're alive. Comfort zones are dead zones. They feel safe, but they're a trap. They keep you small. They keep you weak. They keep you from becoming who you were born to be. So break out of them. Smash through them. Force yourself into situations that make you uncomfortable, because that's how you learn. That's how you expand. That's how you build the strength that nothing can destroy. And don't just do it once. Do it every day. Make discomfort a habit. Make it a part of your life. Because the more you face it, the less power it has over you. The more you step into the unknown, the less fear can control you. You become stronger, sharper, braver. You become someone who isn't afraid to take risks, to fail, to struggle. You become someone who knows that every challenge is an opportunity to rise, to improve, to become more. And that's when you start to win. That's when you start to separate yourself from everyone else. Not because you're smarter or more talented, but because you were willing to do what they weren't. You were willing to get uncomfortable. And that made all the difference. The truth is, your comfort zone will try to seduce you. It will tell you that you're fine where you are, that you don't need to work harder, that it's okay to settle, but don't listen to that voice. It's lying to you. It's trying to keep you small because small is safe. But small is also boring. Small is also regret. Small is also the slow death of dreams. So fight it. Fight for growth. Fight for greatness. Fight for the life you were meant to have. And understand that every time you choose discomfort, you're choosing strength. You're choosing courage. You're choosing to become better than you were yesterday. Because that's the only way to win. That's the only way to grow. And in the end, that's the only way to live. If you avoid discomfort, you avoid life. You avoid progress. You avoid every great thing you could ever achieve. But when you face it, when you embrace it, when you lean into it and say, I will not be stopped, that's when you rise. That's when you become unstoppable. That's when you turn potential into reality. And that's when you start living the life most people only dream about. So don't fear discomfort. Chase it, hunt it, run towards it. Let it challenge you, shape you and refine you. Because when you do, you'll discover strength you never knew you had. You'll unlock levels of resilience, determination, and courage that most people will never experience. And you'll stand taller, walk prouder, and live a life that feels like victory. Because it will be. It will be a victory over fear, over weakness, over the limitations you once thought defined you. And that's the life you deserve. That's the life you're capable of. But it's on the other side of discomfort. So go get it. Go after it with everything you have. Let discomfort be your guide, not your enemy. Let it show you the way to greatness, to strength, to everything you've ever wanted. And when it hurts, when it feels like you can't keep going, remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself that this is the price of greatness. This is the path to power. And if you stay on it, if you keep moving, if you keep fighting, you will win. You will rise. You will conquer. Chapter 5. Do one more rep when your body says stop. Greatness belongs to those who are relentless, those who refuse to stop when the world tells them it's enough, those who choose to keep moving when every part of their body and mind is screaming to quit. It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's about the will to endure, to fight through the storms, and to rise again and again, no matter how many times you've been knocked down. The real champions of life aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who fall 10 times and get up 11. They're the ones who refuse to let failure define them. They look failure in the eye and say, "You will not defeat me." That's the kind of fire it takes to win. That's the kind of mindset that forges warriors, leaders, and legends. But the truth is, most people never tap into that fire because they're too afraid of the struggle. They avoid it. They back away from it. The moment life gets hard, they look for an exit. They search for comfort. They look for the easy road. But greatness doesn't live on easy roads. It doesn't show up in comfort zones. It lives in the trenches. It lives in the fight. It lives in those long, lonely nights when you're working while everyone else is sleeping. It lives in the sacrifices that no one sees, in the discipline that no one celebrates, and in the moments when quitting feels like the easiest option, but you choose to stay in the game anyway. That's where greatness is born. You have to be willing to embrace that reality. You have to be willing to fight, to bleed, to suffer for what you want. Because nothing worth having comes without pain. Nothing worth having comes without sacrifice. You have to be willing to pay the price, and sometimes that price is higher than you ever imagined. Sometimes that price is waking up every day and fighting battles no one else understands. Sometimes it's standing alone, believing in a vision that no one else can see. Sometimes it's pushing yourself when your mind is begging you to stop. But that's the cost of greatness. That's the price of becoming more. And the people who win in life, they're not the ones who avoid the pain, they're the ones who face it. They're the ones who accept it. They don't run from it. They welcome it, because they understand that pain is temporary, but regret lasts forever. They understand that struggle is a season, but the victory lasts a lifetime, and they're willing to endure the struggle for the sake of the victory, because they know that on the other side of pain is power, on the other side of sacrifice is strength, on the other side of every challenge is a better, stronger version of themselves. But you've got to be hungry for it. You've got to want it so badly that nothing can stop you. You've got to want it so badly that failure isn't even an option. That fear isn't even a thought. You've got to want it so badly that you're willing to do whatever it takes, no matter how long it takes. Because that's what separates winners from losers. It's not talent. It's not opportunity. It's hunger. It's the fire inside you that refuses to be extinguished, no matter how hard life tries to blow it out. And if you've got that fire, if you've got that hunger, nothing can stand in your way. But the moment you let doubt creep in, the moment you let fear take root, you start to lose that fire. You start to lose that hunger. And that's when dreams die. Not because you weren't good enough, but because you gave up too soon. Because you let fear and doubt steal your fight. But you're stronger than that. You're better than that. You have a fire inside you that's meant to burn bright, meant to light up your path, meant to guide you through every storm. Don't let anything put that fire out. Don't let anyone tell you it's not possible. Don't let any failure convince you that you can't win, because you can win. You can rise. You can overcome, but only if you refuse to quit. Only if you choose to keep moving forward, no matter how hard it gets. Only if you keep fighting, even when you're tired, even when you're broken, even when it feels like the whole world is against you. That's the test. That's the challenge. And if you pass it, if you endure it, you'll come out on the other side, stronger, sharper, and more powerful than you ever imagined. You'll come out victorious, not just because you achieved your goals, but because you became someone capable of achieving anything. And that's what it's really about. It's not just about the destination. It's about who you become in the process. It's about developing the kind of strength and character that lasts a lifetime. The kind of strength that nothing can break. The kind of strength that turns obstacles into opportunities, failures into lessons, and pain into power. That's what you're really fighting for. Not just the win, but the growth. Not just the reward, but the strength you gain along the way. And that strength will serve you in every battle, in every challenge, in every season of your life. So don't be afraid of the fight. Don't be afraid of the struggle. Embrace it, welcome it, let it shape you, refine you, and build you into the person you were born to be. Because the fight is not your enemy. It's your ally. It's the fire that burns away weakness and leaves only strength. It's the forge that shapes champions. And if you face it head on, if you refuse to back down, if you keep fighting no matter what, you'll emerge from it stronger, sharper, and more unstoppable than ever. And when that happens, nothing can hold you back. No challenge can stop you. No failure can break you, because you'll know that you've been through the fire and survived. You'll know that you've faced the worst and come out stronger. And that knowledge, that strength, that belief in yourself, that's the real victory. That's the real reward. Because when you believe in yourself, when you trust in your strength, when you know that you can face anything and overcome it, you become unstoppable. You become a force that nothing can break. And that's the power you need to win, not just in one battle, but in every battle. Not just in one moment, but for a lifetime. So keep fighting, keep moving, keep pushing forward. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how many times you fall, no matter how many obstacles stand in your way, don't stop, don't quit, don't give up. Because every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Every battle you face, no matter how hard, is building you. Every struggle you endure, no matter how painful, is shaping you. And one day, you'll look back and realize that every fight, every fall, every sacrifice was worth it. Because it made you who you are. It made you strong. It made you unstoppable. And it gave you a victory that nothing and no one can ever take away. Chapter 6. Outwork your competition by mastering the basics daily. Real power is born when you decide that nothing will stand in your way. Not fear, not doubt, not failure. Power grows the moment you choose to confront everything that scares you and walk straight into the fire, refusing to back down. It's not about waiting for perfect conditions. It's not about waiting for motivation to strike. It's about waking up, looking at the challenges in front of you, and saying, I'm not afraid, I'm not quitting, I'm moving forward, no matter what. That's how warriors are built. That's how strength is forged. When you stop negotiating with weakness, when you stop giving excuses a voice, when you declare to yourself that nothing will break you, this is when your life starts to change. The world doesn't hand over rewards to the timid. It doesn't offer greatness to those who hesitate. The world bows down to those who dare to fight, who dare to keep going even when it feels impossible. Because strength doesn't come from easy days. It comes from the hard ones. It comes from the days when you feel like giving up, but choose to fight anyway. It comes from the nights when you're tired, frustrated and exhausted, but you tell yourself, just one more step, just one more try, just one more push. That's where power lives. That's where victory is born, not in comfort but in chaos, not in ease but in effort. But most people never get to taste that kind of strength because they stop too soon. They feel discomfort and they step back. They feel fear and they freeze. They feel resistance and they quit. And they wonder why they're stuck. They wonder why their dreams feel so far away. But the truth is simple. The moment you give in to fear, the moment you let resistance win, you lose. You lose. Not because you weren't capable, but because you stopped fighting. You stopped pushing. You let temporary pain rob you of long-term power. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can choose to rise. You can choose to push. You can choose to become stronger than your excuses, stronger than your doubts, stronger than the fear that whispers, "It's too hard." Because it's not too hard. You're just not giving enough. You're not digging deep enough. You're not trusting in your own strength enough. You have more in you, more strength, more grit, more fight. But you'll never know it if you keep running from the fire. You'll never discover it if you keep avoiding discomfort. You have to be willing to face it, to lean into it, to welcome the struggle, because the struggle is what shapes you. The pain is what strengthens you. The fight is what forges you. And the deeper you go into it, the stronger you'll become. The more you'll discover just how powerful you really are. And once you realize that power, nothing will be the same again. You'll stop hesitating. You'll stop doubting. You'll stop questioning your own strength, because you'll know deep down that you are capable of enduring, capable of overcoming, capable of rising above anything that comes your way. That's real power. That's unshakable strength. And it's waiting for you. It's inside you, right now, just waiting for you to dig deep enough to find it. But it won't come easy. It won't show up without a fight. You have to earn it. You have to be willing to sweat for it, to bleed for it, to sacrifice for it. That's the price of power. That's the cost of greatness. And if you're willing to pay that price, you'll gain something that can never be taken from you. You'll gain a strength that no failure can break, a resilience that no storm can shake, a fire that no fear can extinguish. But you have to decide. You have to commit. You have to say to yourself, no more excuses, no more waiting for the perfect moment. Because the perfect moment doesn't exist. All you have is now. All you have is this moment, this decision, this opportunity to rise. And if you don't take it, if you don't fight for it, you'll be stuck where you are, wondering why life feels so hard, wondering why progress feels so slow. But it's not life. It's not circumstances. It's not luck. It's you. It's the fight you're willing to bring. It's the battle you're willing to wage. It's the pain you're willing to endure. And the more you're willing to give, the more life will give back. The more you push, the more doors will open. The more you sacrifice, the more you'll gain. Because that's how this game works. Life doesn't reward those who wait. It rewards those who fight. It rewards those who hustle. It rewards those who refuse to quit. And when you live that way, when you fight that way, when you refuse to back down no matter what, you become unstoppable. You become a force that nothing can break, nothing can defeat, nothing can slow down. And that's when life starts to open up. That's when you start seeing doors that were always closed. That's when you start creating opportunities that others can only dream of. But it all starts with one decision. The decision to rise. The decision to fight. The decision to be stronger than your excuses, louder than your fears, and bigger than your doubts. So ask yourself right now, what are you waiting for? What are you holding back for? Why are you letting fear control your life? Why are you letting comfort dictate your future? Because the truth is, Comfort will kill your dreams. Comfort will keep you stuck. Comfort will trap you in a life that's less than what you deserve. But if you're willing to leave it behind, if you're willing to embrace the struggle, if you're willing to pay the price, you can have anything you want. You can be anyone you choose to be. You can build a life that most people can only imagine. But you have to fight for it. You have to show up every single day and bring your best, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when it feels like nothing is working. Because that's when the magic happens. That's when the breakthrough comes, not on the easy days but on the hard ones. Not when everything is going right, but when everything is going wrong, and you choose to keep going anyway. That's when champions are born. That's when warriors are forged. That's when power is created. So don't quit. Don't back down. Don't let fear win. You are stronger than you know. You are more powerful than you realize. And the moment you stop running, the moment you start fighting, the moment you choose to rise, that's when your life will change. That's when you'll become unstoppable. That's when you'll become everything you were meant to be. So rise, fight, push, and don't stop until you've built the life you deserve. Chapter 7. Turn off distractions and focus on what matters. Real transformation begins the moment you decide that enough is enough. When you stop tolerating the excuses, when you stop accepting less than what you're capable of, that's when life starts to shift. It's not about waiting for the right opportunity to fall into your lap. It's about creating it. It's about stepping up, taking control, and saying, I will shape my destiny with my own hands. Because no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the life you dream of. It's on you. And the moment you realize that, the moment you embrace that truth, you gain power, you gain clarity, you gain control. The path to greatness isn't for the faint of heart. It's for the fighters, the ones who wake up every day, ready to go to war with their doubts, their fears, and every challenge that stands in the way. It's for those who refuse to be defined by circumstances, who refuse to be shaped by excuses, who refuse to be held down by what went wrong yesterday. Because yesterday is over. It's done. And today is a new chance to rise, to push harder, to fight stronger, to become better. The strongest people you admire weren't born that way. They were shaped by fire. They were forged by struggle. They were built by battles that nobody saw, sacrifices that nobody talks about, and discipline that most people would run from. And that's why they stand where they are today. Not because life was easy, but because they refused to be weak. But here's the part nobody tells you. It's not motivation that builds strength. It's discipline. Motivation is a spark, but discipline is the fire that keeps burning when motivation dies out. Discipline is what gets you out of bed when you don't feel like it. Discipline is what makes you keep going when it hurts, when it's boring, when it's uncomfortable. Discipline is the reason some people rise and others fall, because anyone can be motivated when it's easy. Anyone can be inspired when things are going their way. But what happens when it's not easy? What happens when it's painful? When it feels like nothing is working and you feel like quitting? That's when discipline separates the winners from the quitters. That's when you find out who you really are. And if you don't have that discipline, you'll stay stuck. You'll stay wishing, hoping, and waiting for things to get better. But wishing is not a strategy. Hoping is not a plan. Waiting is not action. If you want more, you have to do more. You have to push harder. You have to show up every single day and demand more from yourself, even when no one is watching, even when no one is cheering, even when no one is clapping for you. Because the truth is, no one cares about your dreams as much as you do. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to hand you the life you dream about. It's on you. And the only way you get it is by doing the work that most people avoid, by making the sacrifices that most people refuse, and by being relentless when most people would have given up. But that's what makes it worth it. That's what makes the victory sweet. Knowing that you earned it. Knowing that you fought for it. Knowing that you pushed through the days when it felt impossible and didn't quit. Because quitting is the easiest thing in the world. It requires no effort, no strength, no courage. But fighting, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when it feels like you're getting nowhere, that's power. That's courage. That's strength. And that's where greatness is born. Not in comfort, not in ease, not in the moments when everything is going your way, but in the moments when it feels like everything is falling apart and you choose to fight anyway. You choose to show up anyway. You choose to keep going, no matter what. That's how you build a life that's unstoppable. That's how you create a future that's unbreakable. Not by hoping for it, but by working for it. By grinding for it. By pushing yourself to levels you didn't even know were possible. Because here's the truth. You have more in you. More strength. More courage. More fight. But you'll never find it if you keep running from the struggle. If you keep hiding from the hard days. You'll only discover it when you step into the fire, when you lean into the discomfort. When you tell yourself, I'm not stopping. I'm not quitting. I'm going all in. And that's when life will open up. That's when doors will unlock. That's when the universe will start moving in your favor. But it starts with you. It starts with your choice. It starts with your willingness to stop running and start fighting. Because the truth is, nobody is coming to make it easier. Nobody is going to wake you up and tell you to chase your dreams. You have to be your own motivation. You have to be your own force. You have to be the one who says, this is my life, and I will fight for it. I will grind for it. I will bleed for it if I have to. Because that's what it takes. It takes relentless effort. It takes unwavering belief. It takes sacrifice, commitment, and a refusal to settle for anything less than what you're capable of. And if you're not willing to pay that price, then you'll never experience the reward. You'll never know what it feels like to win. You'll never know what it feels like to look at the life you've built and say, I did that. I created that. I fought for that. And I won. And isn't that what life is about? Building something that lasts. Creating something that matters. Leaving behind a legacy that says, I was here. I lived. I fought. I conquered. That's not going to happen by accident. That's not going to happen by waiting. That happens when you decide, right now, that you're done making excuses. You're done holding back. You're done living half-hearted. It happens when you commit to going all in, to giving everything you have, to chasing your dreams with a fire that refuses to be extinguished. And if you can do that, if you can make that choice and stick to it, you will be unstoppable. You will be powerful. You will be the kind of person that others look at and say, how did they do it? And the answer will be simple. You did it because you refused to quit. You did it because you were willing to go where most people wouldn't. You did it because you chose strength over comfort, fight over fear, discipline over excuses. And that's the formula. That's the secret. It's not luck. It's not talent. It's not some magical moment where everything falls into place. It's work. It's struggle. It's persistence. And if you can embrace that, if you can fall in love with that process, you'll have everything you've ever dreamed of. Not because it was easy, but because you were strong enough to take it. Because you were bold enough to claim it. because you were relentless enough to never give up, no matter how hard it got. And that's what greatness demands. That's what victory requires. So rise up, dig deep, push harder, and don't stop until you have everything you came for. Chapter 8. Push through fear by taking bold daily actions. Greatness isn't given. It's earned, built brick by brick with sweat, sacrifice, and unwavering determination. It's about standing tall when everything around you tries to bring you down. It's about refusing to quit, even when quitting feels like the easiest option. Because the truth is, life will test you. It will push you. It will stretch you beyond your limits. And it's in those moments when it feels like you have nothing left to give that you must reach deeper. You must dig into a place within yourself that most people never find, the place where champions are born, where dreams are forged, where legends are made. That place inside you where weakness is replaced by strength, fear by courage, and doubt by belief. If you want to become unstoppable, you have to learn to love the grind. You have to fall in love with the process, not just the outcome. Because the outcome is just a snapshot, a moment, a reward, but the process, that's where the transformation happens. That's where you grow, where you build character, where you develop the toughness that will carry you through any storm. The process isn't glamorous. It isn't flashy. It's early mornings, late nights, setbacks, frustrations, and countless moments of questioning yourself. But every second of it matters. Every ounce of struggle adds strength. Every challenge you overcome adds a layer to who you are becoming. And that is worth every sacrifice. The truth is, nothing is going to be handed to you. You can wait your whole life hoping someone will see your potential, but it's wasted energy. The world rewards results, not intentions. It rewards those who show up, who put in the work, who refuse to take shortcuts. It rewards those who do the hard things, even when nobody is watching, even when there's no applause. If you want the reward, you must endure the grind. If you want the prize, you must be willing to pay the price. And the price isn't paid once, it's paid daily. It's paid with discipline, consistency, and relentless focus. It's paid by doing the right thing when it's hard, by taking action when it's uncomfortable, by showing up even when you'd rather stay in bed. Every single day is a battle between the version of you that wants to grow and the version that wants to stay comfortable. And the battle is won, not by grand, dramatic gestures, but by small decisions made consistently. The decision to wake up early, the decision to push through one more rep, the decision to say no to distractions and yes to focus, the decision to keep going even when you're tired, even when it hurts, even when progress feels slow. These small decisions, repeated over and over, become the foundation of greatness. They become the difference between where you are and where you could be. And the question is, how bad do you want it? How much are you willing to sacrifice? How far are you willing to push? Because greatness isn't reserved for the chosen few, it's reserved for the relentless. You cannot expect extraordinary results from ordinary effort. If you give average, you get average. If you give little, you get little. But if you give everything, if you commit with every fiber of your being, then extraordinary becomes possible. And that's where most people fall short. They want greatness, but they aren't willing to sacrifice comfort. They want results, but they aren't willing to endure the process. But comfort is a trap. It lures you in, keeps you safe, but it also keeps you stuck. Growth lives on the other side of discomfort. Strength is built in the moments when you feel like breaking, but choose to endure. Confidence is built when you face your fears, not when you avoid them. If you're waiting for it to get easier, stop. It doesn't get easier, you just get stronger. And that strength isn't found in the easy days. It's forged in the struggle. It's built in the days when you feel like quitting, but push through anyway. When you show up tired, but still give it everything. When you face rejection, but keep moving forward. That's when the real growth happens. That's when you discover what you're truly made of. Not when life is easy, but when it's hard. When it challenges you. When it tests your patience, your discipline, your resolve. And if you can stand strong in those moments, if you can keep moving, keep grinding, keep believing, you become unstoppable. You become the person you always dreamed of being. Because here's the truth, the life you want isn't waiting for you. It's hiding behind every challenge you're avoiding, behind every excuse you keep making, behind every fear you're too afraid to face. And it's waiting for the version of you who's willing to go after it, no matter the cost. So, the question is, will you step up? Will you face the fire? Will you push through the pain, the setbacks, the discomfort? Because if you do, you'll be amazed at what you're capable of. You'll be shocked by how strong you really are. You'll discover a version of yourself that's powerful, fearless and relentless. But it starts with a choice. The choice to stop running. The choice to stop hiding. The choice to look yourself in the mirror and say, I am not done. I will not quit. I will fight for my future, no matter what. That choice is where strength begins. That choice is where courage is born. And that choice is where your future is shaped. Every single day, you have that choice. And every single day, you either step closer to the life you want or further away. There is no in-between. There is no neutral ground. You're either growing or you're shrinking, winning or losing, becoming stronger or weaker. And every day, you get to decide. So decide. Decide that you're done living less than your potential. Decide that you're done accepting average. Decide that you're ready to do what it takes, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how long it takes. Decide that you will fight for your dreams with every ounce of strength you have, because the truth is, you are stronger than you think. You are more capable than you know. But you'll never find out unless you push, unless you challenge yourself, unless you stop waiting for perfect conditions and start creating them. Because nothing will change until you do. So take the first step, take the next step, and keep stepping, day after day, until the path becomes clear, until the progress becomes visible, until the results show up. And when it gets hard, and it will get hard, remember why you started. Remember what you're fighting for. Remember that the pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. And that regret is a heavy burden to carry. But discipline shapes you. It molds you. It strengthens you. And eventually it rewards you in ways that will change your life forever. Chapter 9. Commit to progress even when it feels slow. The moment you decide that you will not be stopped is the moment everything begins to shift. It's not some magical moment where the universe gives you a pass to skip the hard work. No, it's when you look at the challenges ahead, the obstacles in your way, and you make a choice to rise above them. You decide that no matter how hard the path is, you will walk it with purpose, with passion, with power. The road may be long, but your commitment is longer. And it's in that commitment that your transformation begins. When you decide that you're in it for the long haul, something powerful happens. You start to understand that every day is an opportunity to get closer to your goal. Not just the good days, not just the easy days, but the hard ones too. The days when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when nothing seems to be going your way, those are the days that matter most. They are the days that shape you, that define your character, that determine your future. Every time you push through adversity, you become stronger. Every time you take one more step, even when you're exhausted, you build the resilience that will carry you through the toughest times. This is where most people fall short. They start strong, they have the vision, they have the passion, but when it gets tough, they stop. They let fear take over. They let doubt creep in. And before they know it, they're back at square one, wondering why they haven't reached their goals. But the truth is, the only reason they didn't succeed is because they quit too soon. They didn't realize that success isn't just about talent or luck or timing. It's about showing up every single day, regardless of the circumstances. It's about taking action, even when you don't feel like it. It's about pushing through the discomfort, the self-doubt, the uncertainty, and finding a way to keep going. And the key to this isn't just sheer willpower. It's in your ability to focus on the process, not just the result. Too many people make the mistake of thinking that success is about achieving the final goal. But in reality, success is found in the daily actions, in the little victories that happen when no one is watching. It's about getting up early, showing up to work even when you're tired, putting in the effort even when it seems like it won't pay off. Success is built one small, consistent step at a time. And if you're not focused on the process, you'll miss the opportunity to build something truly remarkable. It's easy to get caught up in the big picture, to look at where you want to be and feel overwhelmed. But if you focus on just today, just this moment, you will start to see progress. You will start to feel the satisfaction of knowing that you're doing everything you can to reach your goal. The journey becomes the reward. The steps you take, no matter how small, are what add up to the results you want. It's about doing the work, even when you don't see immediate results. It's about trusting that the effort you put in today will pay off in ways you can't yet imagine. But that takes faith. Faith in yourself, faith in the process, faith that your hard work will eventually pay off. You have to believe that the effort you're putting in now will lead to something bigger, something more. And it's in that belief that you find the strength to keep going when the world tries to knock you down. You can't rely on motivation alone, because motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes, but belief in your own power, in your purpose, is what will carry you through. You will face setbacks. You will encounter challenges that make you question whether it's all worth it. There will be days when you feel like giving up, when you want to throw in the towel and walk away. But that is the test. That is the moment that will define you. Will you give up, or will you rise? Will you let the obstacles stop you, or will you push through and prove to yourself that nothing can break you? Every time you overcome a setback, you come back stronger. Every time you rise after a fall, you build the resilience that will carry you to new heights. What people don't tell you is that success doesn't come from avoiding challenges, it comes from overcoming them. It's about being knocked down and getting back up. It's about looking failure in the face and saying, "Not today, not me." When you commit to never giving up, you give yourself the chance to succeed. Because success isn't just a destination, it's a journey. And the only way to finish the journey is to keep moving forward, no matter what. So what are you willing to do to reach your dreams? What sacrifices are you willing to make? What fears are you ready to face? Because your success is directly tied to your willingness to keep going, even when things are hard. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent or luck, it's the ability to keep going when others quit. It's about choosing to be relentless, to never stop moving, to never stop growing. Your potential is limitless, but it's up to you to unlock it. The world is full of people who have big dreams but never take action. Don't be one of them. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let doubt stop you from taking the steps you need to take. Believe in yourself, trust in the process, and take action. Every day, every moment, even when it's hard, because success doesn't come to those who wait, it comes to those who act. It's easy to make excuses, to find reasons why it's not the right time, to tell yourself that you'll start tomorrow. But the truth is, tomorrow never comes. If you keep waiting for the perfect moment, you'll be waiting forever. The perfect moment is now. The time to start is today. The time to take action is right this minute. You're never going to feel 100% ready, but that's okay. Action breeds confidence. The more you take action, the more you'll believe in yourself, and the more you believe in yourself, the more unstoppable you will become. So don't wait, don't make excuses, don't tell yourself that you'll start later. Start now. Keep going. No matter how many times you fall, get up again, because you're capable of more than you realize. You are stronger than you think, more resilient than you know, and more powerful than you can imagine. So rise up, take action, and keep moving forward, because the life you want is waiting for you on the other side of every challenge, every obstacle, and every setback. And you will get there. But only if you keep moving. Only if you refuse to stop. Only if you decide that you are unstoppable. Chapter 10. Challenge yourself to be better than yesterday. Success is not some far-off dream that only a few get to live. It is built every single day, brick by brick, through the small decisions you make, the actions you take, and the mindset you adopt. You see, people often look at successful individuals and think it was all handed to them, that somehow they got lucky. But success isn't luck. It's not about being in the right place at the right time, although that may help. It's about discipline, it's about effort, and it's about creating a mindset that refuses to settle for mediocrity. The people who achieve greatness do so because they make the choice every single day to put in the work, no matter how tough things get, no matter how many times they fail, they always keep moving forward. That's the thing most people don't understand. They want the results without the work, the rewards without the sacrifice. They want to skip the struggle, avoid the grind, but what they don't realize is that it's the grind that builds you. It's the struggle that strengthens you. It's the sweat and the tears that make the victory taste so sweet. When you go through tough times and come out stronger, you realize something powerful, that nothing in life can break you unless you allow it to. That is the power of resilience. It's not just about pushing through the bad times. It's about learning from them, growing because of them, and understanding that each setback is just an opportunity to come back even stronger. If you want to succeed, you have to embrace the grind. You have to be willing to do what others won't do. You can't rely on motivation alone. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. There will be days when you don't feel like doing the work, when everything in you screams to take a break or to quit. Those are the days that matter most. Those are the days that define your success. You have to find something deeper than motivation, something that keeps you going when everything in you wants to stop. That something is discipline. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Think about the times you've had to push through a difficult situation. Maybe you've faced obstacles in your personal life, challenges at work, or moments when you felt like giving up. But despite all that, you kept going. You kept showing up. And because of that, you came out on the other side, stronger, wiser, and more capable than you were before. That's the power of consistency, of doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. Success isn't about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get back up. It's about the resilience to keep going, even when the road gets rough, when the future looks uncertain. And the more you embrace the struggle, the easier it becomes to push forward, no matter what comes your way. You have to understand that success is a choice. It's not a waiting game, it's a doing game. Success isn't about waiting for the right moment or waiting for everything to be perfect. The right moment is now. The perfect time is now. If you keep waiting for the stars to align, you'll be waiting forever. The key is to take action, no matter how small, no matter how imperfect it seems. Every step forward counts. And when you look back, you'll realize that all those small actions, those consistent efforts, are what got you to where you are. Success also requires a shift in mindset. It's about seeing opportunities where others see obstacles, about finding solutions instead of focusing on problems. It's about looking at challenges as chances to grow rather than reasons to give up. When you shift your mindset, you shift your entire reality. The way you perceive the world, the way you approach problems, and the way you respond to challenges, all of that changes. And when your mindset shifts, you begin to see doors opening where there were once walls. You begin to see solutions where others only see problems. You become someone who takes action, who doesn't wait for things to happen, but makes things happen. But this mindset doesn't come overnight. It's developed over time, through repetition, through effort, through the daily commitment to becoming better. It's about doing the work, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it. And it's about developing the self-discipline to push through the discomfort and the resistance. Every time you do this, you get closer to your goals. Every time you choose to take action, you move one step closer to becoming the person you were meant to be. It's in those small, consistent actions that success is born. And while the path to success is never easy, it's never impossible either. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has faced their own battles. They've faced doubt, they've faced fear, they've faced failure. But they didn't let any of that stop them. They kept going, they kept learning, they kept growing. And you have that same potential within you. You have the ability to rise above your circumstances, to push past your fears, to keep going when everything inside of you says to quit. You are capable of so much more than you realize. You are stronger than you think, more resilient than you know. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the decision to keep going, no matter what. Success is not a destination, it's a journey. It's not about achieving a certain level of wealth, fame, or status. It's about growing, learning, and becoming the best version of yourself. It's about pushing through the challenges, about taking each day as an opportunity to improve, to grow, and to get better. It's about becoming someone who doesn't back down, someone who doesn't settle for less than they are capable of. And it's about knowing that no matter how difficult the journey may be, you are always capable of moving forward. So ask yourself, are you willing to keep going? Are you willing to put in the work, day after day, even when it gets tough? Are you willing to embrace the grind, to keep moving forward, no matter what? Because that is the key to success. It's about showing up every single day, doing the work, and pushing through the resistance. It's about making the choice to never give up, no matter how hard it gets. And it's about knowing that the rewards are worth the effort, that the success you want is waiting for you on the other side of the struggle. The question isn't whether you can achieve success. The question is whether you're willing to do what it takes to get there. Success isn't for the faint of heart. It's for those who are willing to work, who are willing to fight for their dreams, who are willing to embrace the journey, no matter how challenging it may be. And if you make the decision to keep going, to keep growing, to keep taking action every single day, there's nothing that can stop you. You are destined for greatness. It's time to take that first step. It's time to make success your reality.